Welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. It's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild. All his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today I am joined by a very special guest, current professional goaltender Mitch Gillam. Mitch is currently signed with the Wichita Thunder of the East Coast Hockey League. He attended Cornell University and played 4 years of Division I college hockey. Mitch also played junior hockey in the ECHL for the Chilliwack Chiefs and was drafted in 2008, round 7, number 131 overall by the Peterborough Petes in the OHL priority selection draft. Welcome to the show, Mitch Gillam.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Super excited to chat with you.
Yeah, it's going good. Just excited to get you on. So, how have you been? Like, we're in like quarantine, or like with like COVID, like it's like quarantine, but not really right now. But
yeah,
still in weird times. Like, how's that going for you?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of still feels like quarantine just because we're not playing hockey and the normalcy is all gone out of the world pretty much, and especially the hockey world. But yeah, no, I'm at home in Peterborough, Ontario, just at my parents' place. I usually come back for the summers. They work away, so I usually have like my own little getaway at home. So I've been here for, I don't know, 6 months, half a year, whatever it is. Since March, since our season ended, and yeah, just kind of getting by, trying to work out. My brother owns a gym here in Peterborough, so I was able to stay in shape the entire time I've been here, and just finding ice wherever I can right now.
Yeah. So how has the ice rinks been? Like, have they been open by you, or are they still pretty much closed down?
Yeah, no, they're open. You have to show up around 15 minutes, 20 minutes earlier, and then they let you in, and you get dressed in the dressing room for 10 minutes, then you're on the ice, and then as soon as you're done, you kind of get off as fast as possible and get out of there as fast as possible. So that's Peterborough ice. I've been going back and forth. I skate at ETS and Whippy every Tuesday, Thursday here back and forth, and there's a similar, like you walk in and you get dressed for like 2 minutes and you're on, and same stuff. So ice has been pretty good for me. I mean, I know I have some connections, so I've got people wanting goalies everywhere. So I kind of drive wherever. It's usually around 45 to an hour drive anywhere I go for ice. So it's been good.
It's not bad. At least you're getting back. You're getting on the ice, so you can't complain there.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've been skating for almost 2-3 months now, on a weekly basis too. So like at least twice a week, sometimes 4-5 times a week. So it's been pretty good for me. I mean, there hasn't been too much shutdown in Peterborough. I mean, we've only had like 7 cases to 10 cases max at a time. So everything seems pretty normal around here right now, even though the second wave's supposed to be hitting pretty soon. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But for now, I'm kind of just doing my thing and still getting on the ice. So
Yeah, that's at least good. Here in Chicago, it's a way different than that. We're like one of the hotbeds for COVID, so like
yeah,
a
I
lot more
heard that.
strict. But the rinks have been open since June, so I've been skating since June. But like you're only allowed to get dressed outside in most rinks,
Yeah.
which I haven't home dressed and like got dressed in a parking lot since probably like Pee Wee squares,
Kiwis.
like
Yeah.
that. It's definitely
Yeah. No.
interesting to do
Well,
that.
a couple of the rinks have been pretty lenient though. Like if you're a goalie and you show up, you just knock on the door. If you try this next time, you just knock on the door and say, "Hey, like, can I just get my start with your skates on in there?" And so you basically just kind of walk in. They're like, "Ah, yeah, no worries, whatever."
Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that for one of the rinks that I go to, because the other ones they're super chill. Like the one I'm skating at later, like for pickup, they just let you get dressed outside of like the ice surface. So
Yeah.
not in a locker room, but like it's still something. Then like for men's league started up for me like last week, so I'm at least getting in like game shape somewhat. And then
Yeah.
we're obviously allowed to use the locker rooms for that, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Yeah.
whole
I miss
different
the game shape.
situation in per rink.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, so can you tell our viewers a little like background information about you, like when you started playing hockey, like what made you get into goaltending, like where you started and like where you're at now?
Yeah. That's a long process, but I'll take a few breaths in between. Yeah, no, I grew up, so I'm from Peterborough, Ontario, and I started playing hockey like church league, like way back. I'm not even sure what age group it is, like 5 maybe. And I was with Immaculate Conception Church League, so that was how I started. I was a defenseman actually, big power D man, pretty defensive, not really offensive, big defensive power forward or power goal defenseman. So I started there, and then I tried to make the AAA team my first year of what is it, Adam? I think it is. They call it Adam, and I was getting cut by the coach on same as Ed Arnold and Steve Larmer. He played for Chicago Blackhawks for a number of years.
Yeah.
He was one of the coaches on our team, and they were cutting me, and I was like, well, in church league, sorry, I'll back it up for 1 second. In church league, you rotate the goalie, so I kind of got used to being in the net, and my brother's 4 years older than me, so he would shoot on me in the driveway and stuff. So I got pretty good at being goalie because I always liked being the goalie if somebody didn't want to go in. So I was getting cut when I was in Adam, and as I was getting cut, I asked the coach, said, "Hey, what if I come back tomorrow and try out in the net?" And he was like, "Sure." And your parents are in there with you? And my dad's like, "I don't know. Yeah, sure." Like, yeah. So the next day we went and got like the church league stuff I was wearing, and I came back and I ended up making the team. And as the goalie, me and Charlie Millen was the other goalie and I played minor hockey in Peterborough ever since that date until major midget. In major bantam and minor midget, we won the OMHA championships, which is like a pretty big deal in Ontario. So that was pretty cool. And then I got drafted to the Petes my minor midget year, and they had a whack of goalies. They had Trevor Can, Jason Mission. Who else was there? Matt Ginn was there. He plays in Europe still. They had, I forget his name. His last name was Brown. He got drafted. I think it was the same year or the year ahead of me. They had Zach Fry. So there was a lot of goalies in the OHL system for the Pete. So I just played a year of major midget. And then after major midget, Berkshire Prep School contacted me. After one of the tournaments we were in, they saw me in a summer tournament or something like that. And I ended up going down there and visiting and liking the whole deal that the prep school offered me with the schooling and whatnot. And my brother had just got not a scholarship, but like he went on a financial aid basis to Dartmouth College. So I knew what the whole college thing was and how that was about. And so I went to Berkshire Prep School, and I kind of decided I wanted to go to the college route instead of the OHL after that, just because of the number of goalies that were in the Pete system. So I decided to go to Berkshire, and then played there for 2 years. I think that's 2010, 2011. And then one of my teammates at school, his name's Trevor Hills. His dad, we became really good friends. And his dad is the assistant coach of RIT in the NCAA. And he knew Harvey Schmiel, which was the coach of Chilliwack. So I ended up jumping on that train with Hillsy, and we went out to the BCHL and played there for 2 years. Did pretty well out there, ended up getting a commitment to Cornell. And then after Cornell, I played there for 4 years. It was some of the best years of my entire life. So I'm happy I ended up going that route instead of going the OHL. You got the education and your social aspect with being a college student athlete. So that was a lot of fun, and we had some good teams there, and some of the best friends of my life. And then I ended up getting an invite to the New York Islanders camp for 2 years. And I ended up playing for the Worcester Railers in Bridgeport. I never played with Bridgeport, but I got called up a ton. Well, I played one period in the AHL, and then last season I signed with Wichita. So that's basically my career in a nutshell. I tried to make it as fast as possible, but it was
that was awesome.
It's a long journey.
long journey, but it's worth it.
Yeah, and I extended like all my my years out too. So like I played as long as I could, right? In each aspect. Like I did major midget, and then I went prep school, and then I went junior A till 21, and then I went to college till I was 25. So I'm an experienced goaltender, that's for sure.
A lot of years for development, that's for sure.
A lot of years.
Yeah. So you were drafted in the OHL. So like, what was like the process like going through like the draft? Like, is it like different than how it is now, or like what is it kind of like the same like as like how the draft process goes?
I'm not really sure how. I mean, I feel like the OHL draft kind of is almost, I don't know. It's kind of I'd say it's like pretty broadcasted now everywhere, and everybody knows who's going first round and where and when. And I feel like back then, like you didn't really know who was going and what round or when, or I mean, there's like 10 players of our age group that you knew who were gonna go like first round for sure, but then you don't really know. Like I just remember sitting upstairs in my computer room on my massive computer that you had to charge up for like 20 minutes before it turned on, and just waiting and watching like who got picked when, and it took forever because LimeWire slowed down the entire computer system. So I feel like it's a lot different now. I feel like it's on TV now for most of these kids. So I think it was a little bit different. I mean, I was personally, I was excited to see where I would go in the draft, and I thought I would be going a little bit higher, but it ended up working out in my favor for how my path has gone. So
yeah, that's just awesome how like the process like changes from like how like when you were drafted and then like to where it is now, and like how like it's broadcast like all over the place. And it's just it's just incredible to see like the technology and how it's improved, and like the process and everything that goes with the draft.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so then you made a decision to go to prep school and not a public high school. So like what went into that decision to play prep hockey at Berkshire?
Well, I was saying, like the Pete's had a bunch of goalies, and they weren't really committing to me right away to be on the team or anything like that. And back then, I don't even know if right now they still have them, but we had like there's only one 16-year-old card or on a junior A team, and um, the junior A team had a couple other players that they wanted, so um, I kind of got like stuck in a weird state, and I didn't know where to go or what to do, and I mean, my brother ended up going the college route, so um, Dan Driscoll is the coach of the prep school there, and he kind of talked me through how if I went there, like there's a lot of college scouts and a lot of teams that would see me for NCAA. So I was like, oh, okay, like that could be another route rather than just going junior A and having the exact same with no position available for me. So he didn't have a starting goalie at the prep school, and he really had interest in me. So I kind of went down there and just toured the school, and it's incredible, those prep schools down there. Like it basically looks like a mini college. It's insane, like all the amenities and like the schooling aspect. Like the school was like next level. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So I was pretty sold on it when I saw it. So and they think, you know, like they have like a great community vibe there too. So, you know, you kind of feel like at home when you get there, and you don't really know until you get there and you meet all these people, and you're in a dorm already with like a bunch of guys, and then it's just a lot of fun, and they make it a lot of fun too. Like there's events and all kinds of stuff too. So yeah, I wouldn't change anything that I did. And prep school, that's just how I ended up going to prep school. So
Yeah, that's awesome how like the campus like felt like really really good right out the gate, and like how you're able to like transition well in going into school, and you played really well like for hockey wise too. You played
mhm,
47 games, I believe, in the 2 years you were there. So like
mhm.
what helped you to become such a successful goaltender, put up like really good numbers, and like some of the things you learned taking yourself from prep school to like the BCHL?
Yeah, no, I feel like uh, growing up, my teams weren't as strong as the other ones. So like I got a lot of shots, and um, that kind of, you know, adds into, you know, once you have a lot of shots, when there's not a lot of shots, you're really fresh. So when I was at prep school, we had a fantastic team. We had guys that won national championships. One plays in the NHL right now. Like, so our team was really, really good. And I felt really good in the net behind them, and they felt confident in me. And that's a big thing too, is like earning your team's trust. And I feel like everywhere I've gone, I've kind of earned my team's trust, and I just communicate well with my team and my defensemen, and the coaching staff too. Like if you get everybody on board, you're obviously going to have success. So um, I've always like had a strong work ethic and good communication, and I think those are the two things that really go a long way when you want to become a starting goalie, and people trust you and they just want to keep playing you. So um, those are the two main factors that I've had growing into becoming a starting goalie, is just work ethic and communication with your teammates and your coaching staff.
Yeah, for sure. Just confidence in general, and like confidence, like getting your team like that confidence that they need, especially when like you guys are down by like a goal or two, and like you make some one big save, like it
Yeah.
boosts everyone's confidence and trust in you. So it's always a good feeling to have, and just like
Yep.
to see the team roll with it, and like how like it can definitely change the outcome of a game after making a one big save.
Yeah. 100%. I've I feel like that's also a major factor, making that big save when it's needed and necessary, and or making a big play too. Like puck handling is a big part of my game too. So making that perfect pass, or just in a simple play that, you know, defensemen need, or a forward needs, and um, definitely goes a long way when your team can trust you.
Yeah, so how much is that? How much time did that like puck handling skill come to you? Like, you obviously had to practice a ton, but like, what would you do during like practice to help yourself get better at puck handling?
Uh, Well, growing up, I had my goalie coach was I had a number of goalie coaches, but the main goalie coach that taught me to puck handle was Andrew Werner, and he's the Peterborough Pete's goalie coach right now. But back then, he was still playing, and he used to skate with my dad and my brother, and um, he's from Peterborough, so I'd go out to ice sessions with him and stuff, and he's like, he's always told me, like, you're not like the biggest goaltender in the world, so we're gonna need to like look at something and really hit on it. And puck handling was a big factor in that, and um, he allowed me to really venture out there and be confident in puck handling, and I practice it on a daily basis, even if I'm not on the ice. Like I'll in my mind, you're just kind of thinking about different plays and how to play the puck, and I watch goalies play the puck all the time on TV and stuff. And yeah, it's just something that I mean, I'll answer your question. In practice, like I'll do minor little stick handling drills, and I'll even talk to the coaching staff, say, hey, on this drill for every practice, can we add like a goalie puck handling little touch or something like that? So instead of the coach is dumping in the corner and our team breaks it out, they dump it into you. You give it to the D-man or the forward or the guy swinging up the middle. So it's just little touches like that. And after practices, obviously you can take a few pucks and stick handle through them and work on your footwork as well at the same time. So I've always just had these little habits that I do and little things that I try in practices at the start of practice or the end of practice. And it's come a long way. I've always been a good puck handler, and it's definitely helped out my teams throughout my career. So
Yeah, for sure. And stick handling is a huge part of goaltending, and like a way to stick out as a goaltender, because especially if you're at like not on the bigger size, like
yeah,
as some goalies are, like definitely getting that like upper edge on something that maybe a bigger goalie isn't as good at. Just you to perfect it as a smaller goalie, it's gonna help you in the long run. And like I've been doing like the same thing like you said that you were doing, like after practices and skates, I'd just stick hand through like pucks and like have someone like dump a puppy on the net and just go around like make a play. So
mm-hmm.
definitely it's definitely worth like perfecting, I guess you could say. And
Yeah, 100%.
it's definitely worth playing the puck as a
That's
goalie. It's so much
yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's so much fun too, getting out there, and uh, getting an assist is also great too. It definitely pats the stats. It looks good.
Yeah, for sure. So
Everyone
then
notices.
yeah, exactly. And then you played in the BCHL for the Chilliwack Chiefs, where it appears you were given a chance like right out of the gate because you were able to play in 41 games your first year, and then
Mm-hmm.
you played 6 in the playoffs as well. So like, what was that transition like playing from prep to going full force and playing a ton of games in the BCHL?
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, as soon as I got there, Harvey said, you're going to battle it out with. I mean, he didn't really say battle it out, but like there was a starting goalie because the Chilliwack Chiefs at the time were coming back to the city. They were a WHL team for, I think it was 4 years or something like that, and before that they were a junior A team. So everyone in the city was pretty excited that the Chiefs were coming back because they've been gone for a bit. And um, yeah, no, our coach Harvey Schmiel, he definitely allowed me to kind of take the reins. As in camp, it was kind of undecided who was going to be the starter and stuff because our team was oh my god, I forgot the name of it. They were called they were a team from up north in BC, and then their team folded, so they were like the team that came to Chilliwack. So like the goalie was already there. It was Brighton Udy. So it was me and him, and there's another goalie too, Adam, and he. So it was us three there, and I was the only goalie that they had really brought in to compete for a job. And Harvey wanted me to kind of take the reins, and I feel like as soon as I got there, I showed out as best possible, and the organization really trusted in me, and Harvard just kind of ran with me and allowed me to play and do my thing. And I was always putting in the extra effort and doing and stuff. I was usually one of the first guys there, one of the last guys to leave every day, and he saw that, and I would do video with him. And even though he wasn't a goalie coach or anything like that, I had a goalie coach there, and we were able to go over a bunch of stuff, and I would do extra things. And he loved that my work ethic was there, and I was able to put my time and effort into it, and I had nothing else that I wanted to do while I was there. So he really trusted in me and allowed me to get going. And it kind of comes with it. Once you start and keep playing and playing, you kind of get in the zone, and you don't really think about how many games you're playing or whatever. And there's like you're 3/4 of the way through the season, and people are media there asking, how does it feel? You're already 30 games in, like you've played 30 games. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I played 30 games. I'm just kind of going day by day and working on my skill set and trying to help out in any way possible. So I just feel like the workload kind of comes with the mindset, and you're just ready to go every time. It doesn't even matter. You're not even thinking about it. So it's like Marty Brodeur. Marty Brodeur played like 70 games in a year, like he just kind of keeps going and going and going, and you don't really think about it. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it kind of felt like in my first year transitioning into like a full-blown starter in the junior A league. And we had some stiff competition there at the Penticton Bees. They're pretty damn good that year. I think they won like 50 or 40 in a row or something like that. Yeah, they were crazy.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have, though, that you're going to just stay out there, be the first one at the rink, the last one to leave, and just your work ethic and like that mindset of like you said, you didn't even realize you're playing that many games. Just going with the flow of things and just going day by day, like you said. It's like as a goaltender, like goalie, obviously, like it takes a toll on your body. So like, what would you do to help yourself recover, especially after playing so many games?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've had like a pretty, I don't know if it would be like a routine, but every year is different. You have like little things that are different that are changing in your body, and things you gotta kind of take care of. And it's changed over the years, but I've always been a guy who just kind of takes his time after games, and I'll sit in the ice bath, go in the hot tub, go back and forth for like almost like 40 minutes just to like reflush my legs and replenish my body. And nutritionally, like I've always been somebody after games who kind of refuels myself in the way that it's needed. And I roll out, I stretch, I take care of it. I'll go on the bike for a bit. And you know what, sometimes you even do like a workout after if you feel like you hadn't done enough in the game, or you really want to get like an extra little kick out of your body or your legs. So sometimes I do workouts. Even in junior A, we had Chilliwack has a phenomenal facility. So I mean, you can see it online and stuff. And we were able to stay as long as we wanted after, really, and do whatever. I kind of just take care of my body and make sure I was ready to go for the next day. Like even if it took a little bit too long, like if I felt like I was taking too long, or if it was like an hour or two after a game, like if I needed it, I would stay there and do it. And even if I was playing the next day, because I'd rather my legs feel better and not have like as much sleep as you think you need, because you can always nap it out right before the game. So
Yeah.
I would do a lot after games, and I still do. I'm always there late.
Yeah, exactly. And like just take care of your body, especially as you get older. It's like it's huge
Oh, yeah.
because I also run cross country as well as play hockey for school. So
Mm-hmm.
it like with between like running, hockey, like lifts, like everything, like it
Can
does
be a
take
lot.
it's a lot on your body. So just gotta like rest whenever you can. Just I like to take naps before I skate and after our running practice. Just nutrition as well is a huge thing to help you keep your performance up there. So it's huge on just taking care of your body and just like being in the present and not like just doing everything you can to just stay even keel and do whatever you can to get yourself to feel better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so then you went on to play 6 games in the playoffs for Chilliwack. So, like, what was playoff hockey like in junior
A? Those 6 games were intense. Because that Penticton team, they went on to win the RBC Cup that year. They had won, like, I think it was, like I said, it was like 40 or 50 games in a row, something ridiculous. They were a fantastic team. They have guys in AHL, NHL right now, and overseas in like first division leagues. So their team was pretty stacked, and that series was pretty hyped. And I mean, it was great, fantastic. We took them to 6 games, and I actually thought we were going to win that series. We had won in overtime the second game of the series, and it was 1-1 going back to Chilliwack, and no one thought that. Like, everybody thought we were going to get blown out, and our team just got, it's just like a different mindset in playoffs. It's like almost anything can happen, even though we lost. It was like anything can happen, and our team was like pretty motivated, and everybody was on board, and we had a lot of fun together as a group. So it almost seemed like we were destined to beat those guys, and we had the number all year too. Like, the first, I think it was, we played them the first 2-3 games, and we beat them the first game like 7-1 or 8-1 or something, and then the next game, like, we tied them. We gave them a hard time every time we played them, and the atmosphere and the rink and the fans, and like the BCHL is a fantastic league. Like, I think it's the best junior A league in the world. So it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. It came pretty short. It was 6 games, but the next season we went on and we made it two series. But once again, that Surrey team was pretty stacked. So it's a different mindset in the BCHL and definitely in playoffs. I mean, no matter where you are, I feel like playoffs is just another level. And you kind of get lost in it too. Like, you don't really think about it, and you just kind of go as hard as you can the whole time. So
yeah, playoff hockey is a different breed. Like, no matter where you are, no matter what league, like, playoffs is just a whole nother level, and it's so much fun to be a part of.
Yeah, no, it's and you get new swag, and you get all kinds of stuff too that comes with it. So you're always striving to get there, and then once you get there, you kind of get in like this mindset. It's almost like a tournament. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. And then the following year, you played 46 games, put up also incredible numbers, and you were also named the BCHL MVP and named to the first All-Star team. So, like, how much did getting recognized for those honorables mean to you?
Oh, I mean, it's a tremendous honor, and something I'll never forget. And I still, like, there's a lot of people who still talk about it and message me about it from Chilliwack, and those years were some of the funnest years of my life. Met a lot of great people, fantastic organization, and it comes down to, like, I can't get that without a good solid team in front of me. So hats off to all those guys that I played with out there, and I still talk to them, most of them on a monthly basis, a weekly basis. Like, we still have our group chats that kind of pop off here and there. So it's always been great to be recognized for individual awards, but it only comes with a team effort. So I can't thank those guys enough for helping me out getting those, and definitely helped me get a scholarship to Cornell, or whatever you want to call it, a commitment to Cornell, I think. So it's definitely something that you'll always remember, and it's pretty cool to have your name up there with a bunch of great players and organizations and things that have gone through the BCHL. So
yeah, that's awesome. Seemed like a great team to be a part of, and like they definitely did help you succeed and get those honorables. So it's always a team thing that goes in with the individual, but it's the team that gets you there as well. So it's good that you guys were close, and you guys still talk every here and then. So good to hear that.
Yeah, it's once you get on like teams like that, like sometimes you have, if you're on a terrible team, guys are sour with each other and stuff, and it's getting on a team that is committed to winning and hanging out, like that's a major part of it too. Like our team we were always doing stuff together. Like we go out and we do, like, we go play touch football, or we go play baseball, or like in the dead of winter, like we go out and go do this out in BC. Like we go to the lake, and I mean, you could just go hike in BC. So just fun stuff, and it's things that you'll remember for a lifetime. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Creates awesome memories, and can't get better than that.
I know I was planning on going out there this summer, but obviously I didn't want to travel too far with all this
Yeah,
stuff going on. So I'm sure a lot of people had plans and stuff like that too, but too bad. I'm hoping I'll be able to get back out there and see everybody in Chilliwack eventually.
yeah, for sure. So then the following year you committed to Cornell University. So like what went into like the process of like your recruiting and like getting recruited to Cornell, and then what made you like say like this is my school, like I want to be here?
Well, funny, like my brother went to Dartmouth, and they're in Ivy League, and they play Cornell a lot. And Cornell was actually I went to the Frozen Four one year with my brother when he was getting recruited when he was like 16, so I was like 12. But those were just hockey games to me then. Like I didn't really know what was going on. And so when my brother went to Dartmouth, the one game I went to was at Liner Rink where Cornell plays. So I saw that atmosphere. That our Liner Rink's like it is the craziest rink to play at in NCAA in my mind. So seeing all the fans and how, like, looking at the campus, like I didn't really look at the campus or see too much of it, but the atmosphere in the rink, as soon as Cornell started talking to me, I was like, oh my God, this is Cornell. Like my brother plays them. Like they beat the crap out of my brother's team. Like this is fantastic. Ben Scrivens was in the net. Like when I was watching, I was like, this is phenomenal. So I had experienced Liner Rink already, and as soon as they started talking to me, I was like, oh, maybe this is like something that could potentially happen. And then I was actually I talked to Harvey, and I was talking to Alaska Fairbanks at the time, and I was booking. We had a week off or a Friday off, so I was going to fly to Alaska on Wednesday and come back for Friday just to see Alaska Fairbanks campus and stuff. And right before I was booking the flight, Cornell called me and said, we would love to commit to you for next season. Or was it next season? In 2 seasons. And I was like, yep, I'm on board. 100%. I'm in. Like, whatever. Alaska wasn't too happy that I called them and had to tell them no. But that's basically how it was. It was Topher Scott and Ben Sire who were talking to me a lot about the school and coming there and committing. And I talked to them numerous games, and thank God the games that they came and watched, I had some fantastic games. So they were excited to have me, and I was on board as soon as they said we'd love to have you come. So
Yeah, that's just unreal about like how you came to Cornell. And I've been dying to ask you about this, but your freshman year, you played 2 games. You started 1 game. Your first career start, you not only got the win, but you also scored a goal
yeah.
and in a 4-2 win against Niagara. So can you take us back to that day and like explain like scoring a goal and like your first ever NCAA start?
Yeah. No, I think it was a month before. I think that first game I actually got to touch the ice and play in a game was we were against Colgate, and I got put in for the 3rd period or something. So that one wasn't my first game in my mind. So we were playing Niagara. I think it was on a Tuesday night or something like that. And Andy had started like 86 games in a row or something for Cornell. Like he started his very first freshman game, like just hopped in the pipes and played. And so I was ending, like, he had 2 or 3 more games, and he was going to beat, like, the record for Cornell for number of starts in a row or something like that. And Schaefer gave me the start, and I was like, oh man, like I feel bad. Like I don't really want to hop in the net. Like I hadn't played all year, and I obviously I was super excited that I was actually getting a start. And so I started, and my dad actually pulled an audible and drove down from Peterborough that day to watch me play. It's like 4 hours away. So I told him, like, in the morning that I was starting the game that night, and he's like, all right, I'll be there. Like, I'm just gonna pack up work and call it quits here and then come down. So I was pumped. My dad was coming down to watch, and yeah, it was pretty nerve wracking the entire day. Like, I didn't really nap, obviously. I was just kind of laying on my bed, staring at the ceiling, pretty pumped up. And as soon as you commit, you kind of think about that first start. So I was really excited, and I got to the game, went through my routine, whatever, and game wasn't going very well. We weren't playing very, very good at all. Like I think they were up on us at one point, or maybe we were up. I think we were up 2-0, and then they tied it 2-2, like in the second period, pretty quick. We ended up scoring in the third period, put us up 3-2, and Niagara was all on us a lot that game, and Schaefer wasn't too happy about it. And yeah, I think it was 10 seconds or 11 seconds left, and we were hemmed in our own end, and they pulled the goalie. And obviously, you look at the clock, as soon as you see the goalie pull the other end, you'd be like, this might be it. And Cole Bardreau, he plays for the Islanders now, and Bridgeport. I thank him for this. He failed a clearing attempt, and he muffed it up the right side of the boards, and their defenseman kind of caught it and panicked and kind of just chipped it at me from the. So if I'm looking at the far end, it's on my right, my blocker side, and as soon as I caught it, I looked up, and their one defenseman was in the middle of the ice. Their other was the guy who shot it, and there's 3 of their other forwards on the right side of me. So 5 guys on the right, and there was a guy behind the net behind me. So I was like, okay, I have the whole left side here. So I just dropped it down to my left, and Joel Lowry was coming. He plays in the AHL, and his brother's Adam Lowry, plays on Winnipeg. He was coming up the top of the circles, and I was going to pass him the puck, and he was just screaming, clear it. So I was like, okay. So I just put my head down as fast as possible, and I just shot it. Obviously, you're just going to shoot it for the net, like center of the ice, and then went up over top of him and that defenseman that had shot it, or it might have been somebody else on their team, or the guy who was changing for the goal. I'm not really sure how it was, but he went, instead of trying to catch it with his glove, tried to bat it down with his stick, and he just missed. He completely missed it, and it just went right down in the center of the net. And as it was going down, like, I looked, my dad always sits behind me in a game, so I knew where he was. I just looked up behind him, and he was just like selling so hard, looking at me like so pumped up, and I just turned around, did the exact same selly as him. So everybody was all pumped up, and John McCarron, and I can remember who was on it. It was Joachim Ryan, plays for LA, and Joachim Ryan, Cole Bardreau, Johnny McCarron, Jake McDonald, and they were all on the ice, and they came right at me, and they were huddling around me. They were all in shock. They were like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, liner rink just erupted. Like, it was the loudest. Like, I couldn't even hear myself think. Blacked out, obviously. And then Johnny's looking at me, grabs my face. He's like, go through the line. I was like, okay. So I skated at the bench, sellied with the boys at the bench. And I crossed the red line, fist pumping everybody on the bench, and threw my hands up at line of faithful, and they were all pumped up, and their coach wasn't too happy I crossed the red line, and he wanted to give me a penalty with whatever. And I was like, the ref looked down, he said, "You just see that? I'm not giving this kid a penalty." But I kind of would have liked an extra 2. That would have been great.
Yeah, that I saw the video yesterday, and like, just how the atmosphere was. And it was just crazy. And like you like lifted that puck up like nothing, and it just went straight in the net. Like no better feeling than that. And then like your celly was on point. It was like I'd give that a 20 out of 10. So I definitely love that celly. Have you ever tried to shoot it down like in pro so far?
Yeah. I missed by centimeters.
Oh,
I hit like the backside of the net, and everybody thought I was going in. It literally hit a rut like 3 feet in front of the net, 3 feet in front of the crease, and like just like it was going to the right side of the post, like just about to go inside, and it literally hit something and just like changed its angle a little bit and hit the side of the net. No, yeah,
dang.
they didn't call it an icing though, which is kind of good.
That's a plus there.
Yeah, it was a plus. It was an icing, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, that just I scored a goal too, but it wasn't as cool as you. I didn't even shoot it down. It was so
Did you get credited?
yeah, I got credited for it because like it was a 2-on-1, and like their whole team was changing and our team was changing too, or like they're like someone in the back. So like I made a kick save, kicked it out all the way like the blue line. Like my pads were pretty new at that point, so like you know how the rebounds just explode off your pad.
Yeah.
And then like and then it went past the blue line, so it was in the neutral zone. And then my teammates were really pressuring them, and like they had guys like behind like where the actual puck was. So like they're trying to cycle it all the way back into their own zone, go behind their net. But instead, like my teammate was like on top of the guy, and then like he was trying to clear it behind the net, but instead of clearing it behind the net, he shot it on net when his goalie wasn't expecting it, and literally it went in with the goalie in. So not as cool, but like I've never seen a goalie actually score with a goalie or get credit with a goalie actually in the net. So that was pretty cool. And like I didn't even know until like the ref pointed at me, and it was like everyone came down to me and was like, or the defender that was pressuring the guy was like, "You stole my goal there." So I was like, it was pretty cool there. So
Yeah.
there's
I
a
actually
little story there.
I got credited for one in Chilliwack too.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the guys just came down and took a slap shot, and it went right for my face. So I went like this, hit the side of my head, wrapped around the glass. Like it just like glanced off my head, but like you could hear it hit my helmet. So like it went around the glass and then it went over the defenseman's stick at the blue line and flipped up and just rolled all the way down into the net.
Wow. What?
Yeah, but I didn't want it. I was like, no, like give it to somebody else. But they gave it to me. But I was like, oh, that's not the one you want.
Yeah, you got credit for it. What a thing of beauty, though.
Yeah.
You never want to see a puck at your face, though.
No, it was actually Adam Tambellini. Have you ever heard of him? Yeah, he played for Surrey. It was actually on an Olympic size sheet, so I'm surprised he got all the way down there.
Wow, that's pretty incredible there.
Yeah, but yeah, congrats on your goal.
yeah, you too. Hopefully you get one in pro now.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm just every time I'm gonna try. Obviously, I'm not gonna not go for it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna try to shoot one down soon. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so your second year, you played 27 games with a 1.99 goals against average. So how special was this year for you and like your development to help you create a name for yourself going forward into like college and then going into the pros?
Yeah, I mean that second year we were touted to be a powerhouse. So we had a lot of good players on forward and on D. And they made my job like super easy. I think going into Christmas, I had like a 950 save percentage and like a 1-3. Like it was like insane. Like I felt like I never saw any pucks. I felt like I only had like 25 to 30 max of in a game, unless it was like a faulty game and we were playing, I don't know, anybody that was like top two in the nation. But we had a great defensive team and we played defensive scheme. So it was a special year to, establish myself, obviously. And the guys loved playing in front of me because obviously I could play the puck and pass them the puck and make it a lot easier in our zone. Because if I was able to set it up and break it out for our team. Like it wasn't in our end the entire time. So we were able to, work off of my skill set, and we were able to, put it on a lot of teams, even though our record wasn't too great that year. Our defensive mindset allowed us to have some success and allow me to have success. So, it definitely boosted my stock with the team and the guys who had confidence in me playing in my sophomore year for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome how your team was behind you and made it super easy for you, because as a goalie you want the games to be easy. Sometimes you want the hard reps to get practice in. But you're never going to complain when you have an easy game with a team super great defensively around you and just blocking everything for you, just making your job easy. So it's good. It's nice to have that as a goaltender.
Yeah, we would have practices where we'd practice blocking the shot for 45 minutes. So our team was blocking, putting their face in front. We got cages on, guys were just diving in front. So they did a fantastic job in front of me and made me look a lot better.
Hey, you love that. You love to see that though.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah, and then you're also named that season and the year following Ivy League second team, or all Ivy League second team. Not a big deal. So what was it like getting named to the second team as a college athlete?
It's pretty surreal. I mean, down our hallways, you can see in the rink, it has all the teams like first team, second team for all Americans and Ivy League teams that we've all had and in the organization's history. So it's pretty cool to have your name up there with fantastic goaltenders who have gone through the school throughout the years, and it's something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So throughout your entire college career, what are some of your favorite college hockey memories that you've had?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously the scoring the goal was definitely my biggest, proudest moment of probably my career right now. But there's so many. We've had so many good games and so many off ice things that we've done together as well. Like going to the ECAC championships is always something that's fun. I mean, you're in Lake Placid, and a lot of hockey history there, obviously, for the United States. So it's really cool to get to Lake Placid, and I was fortunate enough to play in a final there. We lost to Harvard, but that was a lot of fun. Coming back in series and in my senior year and my junior year from playing Union and playing Clarkson, just rivalries too, just playing Harvard, going to Harvard's rank, playing when you're Cornell, Harvard and Cornell hate each other. So they call Harvard Line of East, which is that's the name of our rank. So when you go to Harvard, it's basically all Cornell fans there. It's insane. And playing at Madison Square Garden in November during Thanksgiving is always something special. I mean, you're playing on the biggest stage in the world for hockey. Playing at Madison Square Garden is unbelievable. You get to my first year we were there, we got to use the Rangers dressing room. So I was able to sit in Hank's spot. It's pretty cool. And there's just so many things, like the Florida tournament we used to go to. That's always fun. I mean, you get to go just after Christmas, you go down to the hot weather, have some fun in the sun. And my sophomore year, we got to go to Italy. We played a couple pro teams over there, and we got to tour Rome, and just off ice fun activities with the guys. Obviously, it's a brotherhood, and it's just always fun.
Yeah, for sure. So what was it like going to Italy and playing those pro teams and getting to see the competition there?
Yeah. It was different. I mean, we've never seen pro hockey and that, and It was kind of bad. I had bad starts there every single game. We had I let in the first shot of every game, all 3 games or 4 games we were there, and our coach wasn't too happy. But it's a lot different hockey. I mean, they're on Olympic size sheet. We don't play on Olympic size sheet in college, and their knowledge for the game, just we had guys flying around, right? We're work ethic type of a hockey team, and they had, they played chess and we were playing checkers. They're like just passing it, using their sticks. Like they played a pro game, and we were playing college hockey, which is completely different. So a couple of teams we smoked, a couple of teams we had some good games with. So it's a lot different. Seeing the European style hockey, I mean, our guys wanted to crash and bang and hit guys in Olympic size sheet. Sometimes it's kind of hard to hit everybody. So we kind of got frustrated sometimes, but we were there for, a good experience in that. So it's good. It's cool to see the hockey over there. And, but it was definitely a lot of fun getting over there and touring and seeing the style of hockey they play.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, what was, like, the travel like? Did you get – well, especially, like, the jet lag? Like, I bet that must have been, like, really bad.
Not really. I mean, we kind of – I mean, we were pretty tired. It was the first day you're kind of giving your head a shake throughout the day, but you try and stay up as long as possible once you get there so that, like, you can fall asleep at the right time, because when you get there, it's – I can't remember the day. We were like there midday, but we had been up for hours. And, but we were just playing cards. We play cards all throughout the airplane. We were all at the back of the airplane, so we were just tossing cards around and stuff. So we tried to keep a normal schedule, but it is what it is. The legs felt a little rubbery.
Yeah, I would imagine that. But
Yeah.
the experience overall must have been unreal, and, like, nothing matches that. So at least you guys got to experience that and, like, experience, like, the European style hockey that they play over there.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and the food was fantastic over there as well. Italy, I mean, you can't beat the pizza and the pasta over there.
Oh no, you can't. It's yummy. It's delicious.
Yeah, homemade.
Like, oh yeah, exactly. So then after your senior year, you signed a deal with the Orlando Solar Bears in the ECHL. Can you, like, take us through, like, the process of trying to find a pro team right after your season, and how that went?
Yeah, no, so Brian DeCord, he's my goalie coach, and for summers I go down to Stop at Goaltending. He's out of Boston, Mass. And
We had Joey DeCord. We had Joey on the podcast too. So
oh yeah, Joey.
yeah.
I love Joey. Me and him have some fun times when we're down there. Yeah, no, so he was with Toronto at the time. I think he just signed with Arizona as their hockey goalie operations guy. So excited for him there. But he was with Orlando at the time, and or not with Orlando, with Toronto. And so he knew me, and I was one of few goalies that go to Stop at Goaltending, and so he knew my style of play and wanted to help me out in any way possible. So he was able to get me in contact with Orlando, and they needed a goalie, like a backup goalie for Ryan Massa was there at the time as the starter, and Toronto had called up Kaskasua, who was in Orlando for a bit. Now he's with the Marlies, obviously, and so there was an opening there, and I was fortunate enough to go down there after my ECAC career with Cornell, and my first game went really well there. Played in South Carolina, and I was able to. We lost in overtime to South Carolina. It didn't matter because we had secured I think it was fourth place in the division already. So they just allowed me to play, and got to play against Parker Milner. He's a fantastic goalie, and we went to overtime. We lost. I actually got scored on by an ex-Cornell player, believe it or not. And so my first game was good. I made like 40 saves or something like that, and we lost 2-1 in overtime. And the next game didn't go so well. I got the last game of the year, and I don't think we didn't dress our first line because we wanted to rest them for playoffs, and we had a couple call-up guys, and we lost 10 rip. I stayed in for all 10 because I didn't want the other goalie to get in because we were playing in like 2 days against Florida Everblades and stuff. So I just wore that game. But other than that, it was, I mean, going down to Orlando, it's a unbelievable city, unbelievable weather. Like I was going from upstate New York weather to Florida weather. So couldn't complain. Right on the beach with some guys that played college hockey, and the Masters were on, so we're having fun there, and it was a fantastic time. And a couple of my teammates there are teammates with me this year, so you get to know guys really well, and they know how the college game goes, and the pro game is a completely different animal compared to what I was with Cornell, and the style of play is different. Like I could be aggressive in the net with Cornell, and my D-man would be secure in the front of the net like no other. There's no other second chance. And the East Coast Hockey League, you're getting third and fourth chances some nights. So I learned that one quick, and I had to switch up my style a little bit. So definitely learned from that first experience, and it's something that I won't forget, and a bunch of my friends won't forget either because they still hit me hard with that 10-goal game. But
yeah, what a way to get into your pro career, giving up 10 goals in second game you're in. So
yeah, I know they still think it was my first game, and they'd still rip me about it. But I try and let them know it was my second.
Hey, you did a lot better your first game, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you also played in the playoffs that year, right?
Yeah,
You played 4 games. Your elite prospect says, like, what was it like getting in playoff time right off the bat from college?
Yeah, also a different animal. I mean, we were the 4th seed, and Florida was the first. We were up 3-1 in the series, and yeah, I got put it. I don't know. Does it say 4?
Yeah.
Oh, and they threw me in because Massa got hurt. I think he got concussion, or was super dehydrated, got concussion. I think he got hit. I'm pretty sure he got like sideswiped and got concussion. So they had to play me, and obviously it didn't go so well. I think I went 0-4, but yeah, I mean, that Florida Everblades I think they won the whole thing that year too. So they were a great team, and they've always been a great team, and it's a different animal. And I was still adjusting at that time too, right? Like I was used to having that second opportunity not there. Well, it's usually just a block shot, or our defenseman was clamping it down, or our team was clearing it. And the East Coast League, it's sometimes you got players that aren't used to playing as defensively sound as the Cornell hockey team. So I was kind of scrambling around the net a little bit. You can go watch the highlights on YouTube probably still. So you can see how far out I was on my depth and things like that. So it's something I definitely learned from, and I'll be able to adapt and use for future playoffs for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And just like, what was like the process like going from college, like having like school and everything, to going like the pro lifestyle and like not having to worry about school, and just how much free time you have, how much more free time you have during the day?
Yeah. It's pretty similar to when I was in like British Columbia, like the BCHL. So you go to practice in the morning. Our practices now are around 10 or 9 or 10, and then you're done by noon, and you have the whole day off. I mean, Cornell, obviously the education part, you're in the library, you're somewhere, you're in class till some nights you're there till like 8 or 9 at night, and you got to go to bed, and after that, and then you wake up, you got school all day, and then you go to practice 3 to 4, and then you go back to school. Like it's a grind. It's a completely different grind. And the free time, sometimes you don't know what you do to do with yourself. And obviously there's things that you can do outside with the guys because they got nothing else to do either. So yeah, it's a completely different animal. You definitely are able to take care of your body more. And I mean, school, you obviously have fantastic amenities with trainers and all kinds of things like that, but you kind of learn the pro game, and you're able to, adapt and really focus on yourself and what you want to accomplish in your games, and how you want your body to feel. You can really understand yourself a little bit more when you're in the pro game.
Yeah, for sure. That's a huge thing, that you have a lot more time to take care of your body and just get situated with like the pro game, and like especially like going into like into the pros with Orlando, like must took some time to get used to, and just I bet a lot of your teammates were helping you get or make that transition a lot more smoother than it was going to be if you didn't have those teammates. So that must have been really nice to have.
Yeah, no, it's always good to have guys that, I mean, as soon as I got there, I got put with a couple guys who had played college already, so they kind of allowed me to transition a little easier. And obviously, when I was in Orlando, I still had schoolwork to do, so I was online, and at the time there was no Zoom, but I was Skyping like my teachers every now and then, and talking to them and calling them, and handing in online assignments. But when that was all done, when school was finished, like you're able to take care of your body more and take time to just really focus in on your craft and your sport, and what you want to do on the ice every day and off the ice with your spare time.
Yeah, exactly. And then the following season, you went on to play with Worcester, the Worcester Railers of the ECHL, and like you spent 2 seasons with them. So like, what was your experience over with the Railers?
Yeah. So I started that year. I went to the Islanders camp for both of those years. I was up with them for the month of August at their rookie camp, and then the rookie camp, not the development camp. It was the rookie camps. So I go there, and then I did the second year. I was at main camp with them, and then you get sent down, and then I was with my second year. I was signed with Bridgeport, and I got sent down to Worcester and played with Worcester. But my time in Worcester, my first year, was unbelievable. We had, once again, it was almost similar to the Chilliwack situation, where we were a new ECHL team coming back into the league, and they had been the Worcester Sharks of the AHL for a little bit. But they wanted the brand and the team to be really well known in Worcester, and I think they've done a fantastic job there. It's one of, if not the best ECHL organization in the league. So my time there was fantastic. They treated me unbelievably well, and my first year we had like 15, 16 rookies. And we had played against each other, like a bunch of us, like 10 of us would play against each other in the ECHL the NCAA and the ECAC. And there's a couple other college guys there too. And we brought in some great players from or just great rookies. And we had a good, solid, older group that had, allowed us to somewhat be more of a free group, because we had so many rookies in that. So we had a lot of fun, and we were able to adapt to the pro game pretty well. And we went on an unbelievable run at the end of our season. And that was something that I will always remember. I think for me, it's probably one of the best, if not the best, time I've ever had playing hockey.
Yeah, it just seems like a great, well-run organization, and they got some pretty sick uniforms and logos, so can't complain about that. And like their colors are fantastic. And, like your pads with them were really sick too. So like especially with Bridgeport as well, with what, like the blue and the orange pads, so like what went into like creating those pads and like the style of them?
My first year, when I was when I just signed out of college with Worcester, and like got sent down from Islanders camp, I just signed an ECHL contract, and they actually had signed a goalie there already, and he was an older goalie, and they were just bringing him in for experience purposes, and it didn't end up working out with him, and they ended up signing me. So they gave me his blocker and trapper, and he was 6'4" though, so his pads didn't fit me. So they ordered me new CCM's pads, but they came in a size too big as well. So those didn't really fit me. And I had a demo set of Bauer pads that I was trying over the summer. So I used those, and our trainer ended up just skin wrapping whatever design he wanted to put on them. So that happened. That was my first set. In my second year in Bridgeport, the first helmet was designed by Mike Myers. He used to be a really well-known airbrusher for goalie helmets and stuff. And he designed the Worcester Railers helmet, which is a pretty cool helmet. It's just like a tin head you got on. It's basically like the engine of the train and stuff. Yeah. So that helmet was cool. And then my second year was Bridgeport stuff. I had the Islanders logo with Sparky, the Islanders mascot, and then I had the Bridgeport Sound Tigers logo on the other side with their mascot on it as well. And then on the back I had the Railers symbol on the back with Gilly Gilly on the back, because they made a thing out of that with Gilly Gilly. And they've been just pretty good, sleek designs. I don't really put too much thought process into them. I used to design my own helmets and draw my own helmets with like Sharpies and stuff, but now I don't do that. I just kind of think about something and I kind of run with it as fast as possible, just so I get it done.
yeah, exactly. But everything, the pads and the masks you've worn have been sick recently, and like I really admire like the inspiration that goes into like the pads and all that, because it really turned out really nice and just looks super cool.
Thanks, appreciate it. This year's was pretty cool too. I had like the Thor helmet, and it was like, because we were the Thunder, and it was just basically I tried to almost mimic the one that had that Dwayne Rollerson wore with the Tampa Bay hat, and the Worcester Railer one. I love the way it looks, so I kind of had my paintbrusher try and mimic that somewhat, and then I wanted to have the Nikolai Habibulin print on my pads for this year, because they're the same colors as the Thunder pretty much, with the Lightning back in the day. So wasn't able to get them because they would have been coming in too late in the season, and I probably wouldn't have got them because COVID hit. And so I just went with something similar, like tried to mimic it somewhat this year. So they're pretty good looking pads, I think.
Yeah, for sure they were. So then like the past 2 of the 3 seasons, your rookie year, you were named to the ECHL All Rookie team, and then the following year you played in the ECHL All-Star game in Toledo. It's like how cool were those experiences, especially the ECHL All-Star game, and then being a part of like the All Rookie team as your first year in pro?
Yeah, it's definitely another honor that I was excited to have as an accomplishment, and that was a part of that fantastic run I had in Worcester with all those guys I was just talking about. And we went on an absolute run. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and the coach really invested in me. And like the Bridgeport Sound Tiger goalie was Amy McAdam. He was signed with the Islanders, so he got called up, and we called in a goalie, just a backup goalie, one of the greatest backup goalies I've had in my entire life, and he just enjoyed the ride and pushed me and loved watching the story unfold. And I think we went on like a 25 game, like we went like 25-2 or something like that in the last stages of we were like 17 points back, and we ended up making the playoffs. Hey. And with that being said, like the guys kind of just all bought in and said, you know what, let's just leave it all out there. And we just went on a run, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun as a team, and we were fortunate enough to make the playoffs. Didn't make it past the first round, but the journey there was fantastic, and the accolades that come along with it, obviously you don't really think about them until at the end of the season. You're like, oh crap, like that actually happened. And I couldn't have done it without those guys and how they played in front of me. And the ECHL All-Star game was so much fun. It was in Toledo. Obviously there's like 10,000 fans a game there. So that's always fun. And my team was stacked. Our Eastern division was unbelievable. So I went in thinking we were going to win it, and we ended up winning the All-Star game and stuff, and had a bunch of fun with those guys. And you get there early and you get to meet them, and stayed there after, got to hang out with them, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Yeah. Was there a lot that you learned from Eamon McAdam? Because he's obviously a very successful goaltender. He won the Kelly Cup recently with Newfoundland after backing up Michael Gartag, I believe it was. It's like how cool is it to have McAdam as a backup and like him to help keep pushing you?
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. I mean, me and him we actually have the same birthday, and we definitely got along really well. And well, McAdam he got called up, so he wasn't backing me up. He was just he backed up a little bit in the playoffs, and then ended up starting a game, and we ended up losing. But he's a great guy, and nothing bad to say about him. And he works hard, and we definitely got along as a goalie tandem, and we definitely pushed each other when we were playing with each other. And great guy off the ice, great guy on the ice, and definitely somebody that you can count on.
Yeah, that's just awesome to have as a goalie partner, and just being able to trust them like that. It's unreal.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure he's with Adirondack now, and that'd be fun to hop in the play. I think we played him. I played him once against when he was in Newfoundland, and we ended up beating him, so that was a good plus. And we had some fun that night after in Newfoundland. So
that's that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then this prior season you played 40 games for the Wichita Thunder, and this was like this is a very weird season with like COVID coming into play at the beginning of March. Like, how do you enjoy playing in Wichita overall?
This is a different experience. I mean, it's in Kansas. Never thought I'd be playing in Kansas. Never thought I'd ever go to Kansas. It was definitely a different year. I mean, the travel out there to begin with, traveling from Peterborough to there is like a 3-day trip, and getting out there. I mean, Bruce Ramsey was a fantastic coach, along with Johnny Gerskis, and they did everything possible to allow me to play, and they were excited to have me there, and they loved playing me. They played me almost every night they could play me. If an Edmonton Oilers goalie wasn't sent down, and even if so, they'd still play me. They loved my work ethic and what I had to offer for them. And our team kind of got I wouldn't say screwed, but we got kind of shafted a little bit when the coach the year ahead didn't re-sign or didn't send out like the protected list of players and stuff like that, because he was leaving the organization. So we ended up having similar style to my Worcester team, where we had a lot of rookies, and I saw a lot of rubber this year, which is not a bad thing, but it was definitely a lot different than the previous year, where I had a solid foundation of a team in front of me. And we tried our best, and we did our best, and we definitely had we had a good start, and we had some rough patches here and there throughout the year, but I think the team definitely learned from this past season. And I think next year they'd be definitely a lot better and definitely grown into the pro atmosphere for next season for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So then March comes and like COVID hits. Like, what happened? Like, what was like all the events leading up to that, and like the season being canceled, and then like
Mhm.
all the hectic stuff I'd imagine happening after that.
Yeah, that was a grind. We were just about to leave on a road trip. Well, we did leave on a road trip. We were gone. We played in Kansas City, played there. Then we traveled to Fort Wayne, played in Fort Wayne the first night. And then the next day we were supposed to leave and keep going east to, we were playing the Indy Fuel the next night, which is further, and so we got stuck in Fort Wayne that night, and the season got canceled. So then we had to drive 14 hours home on our bus. And I mean, that's almost like a normal bus ride out in that division. So we were driving 14 hours home, and my girlfriend lives with me. So she had left for the week because we were gone for the entire week. She went home to see her friends and family and stuff. So I got home and our season got canceled. So everybody wanted to get home because we didn't actually know how bad this COVID thing was. So I had to pack all my stuff, all her stuff, get a U-Haul, tow her car behind my truck all the way to Albany, New York. So that was an absolute grind on like packing everything up because we didn't expect that at all. And nothing was packed. Nothing was even coming close to being packed.
Yeah.
So I had to pack within a day or two of getting notice that the season was not going to continue. So I had to pack like crazy and then drive all the way home. And luckily enough, once we got to Albany, unpacked all her stuff, her car, everything. I was able to get back over the border with her. She's in the house here, and we were able to get over the border before it closed, like 2 hours before it closed.
Wow.
To Americans. So that's how that unfolded there. But the exit meetings and everything, it was a mess. It was a gong show.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how stressful and like the grind that it had to been, and it just seemed like a shit show.
Yeah, it was definitely a mess. And on that drive home, I stopped at a Holiday Inn to nap for 2 hours, and the lady just gave me a room for $20 for 2 hours of sleeping, and then I kept going just because.
Not a bad deal there.
If I slept for like 5 hours or like had a full night's sleep, I wouldn't have made it over the border with her. She wouldn't have been allowed over. So happy I did what I did, but man, that was something else. And I think my hips are still recovering from that.
Yeah, that's crazy, especially how it was like 2 hours before like the borders closed. Like that must have been insane. Like the rush must have been like at an all-time high.
Yeah, we were definitely. We weren't driving slow.
You got to get from point A to point B somehow.
Yeah.
So as long as you get there safely, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as I got my hockey gear and my girl, we're good.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mitch, I got a few more questions for you before we get this thing closed. So, what are some tips that you'd give goalies looking to jump to that next level and get better every day?
I'd have to say, focus on every part of your game and really listen and learn. Don't always think that you can always adapt and change your styles, and really listen and learn to all that others tell you and teach you, and definitely work on your strengths. Your strengths are definitely going to get you, and you know what, they're gonna make you stand out a little bit, and but definitely hammer on those weaknesses, whatever it may be. Like I still work on a lot of things that are wrong with my game every day, even though I hate doing them, I still do them. So just keep working hard, and work ethic and work ethic and determination is a key point in success. And the harder you work, the more you get rewarded. So I think that's a major thing in kids these days. Sometimes they just kind of get too wrapped up in how they look and who's seeing them and who's in the stands. Don't worry about it. Just play out and play hard.
Yeah, that's a great tip right there that a lot of people could benefit from. So thank you for sharing that. And
Yep.
then what has been like your favorite city that you've visited on road trips?
Ooh. Favorite city of, oh man. Favorite city. It's so funny. Like some people would say like, oh yeah, you want to be like in Florida or doing something like poolside in the hot weather. One of my favorite places that I ever played was in Adirondack. And it was, it's just because my team was so tight knit group and we did a lot of fun activities and all that. And I just had fantastic games there. And that's actually where I met my girl. And it's always been a lot of fun to play there. And the atmosphere there is a lot of fun. And it's just like a small town area, and you play them in the playoffs. So you get to go walk around the city and the little town and the little shops. And it's just a fun little place to be and be a part of. So I've always liked playing there and just kind of walking around the town and stuff there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fun little memories made from Adirondack. So that's always a positive there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then my final question of the day is, what's your favorite post-game meal?
I don't know. I love a good zaw after a game. Pretty big on the pizzas. Yeah, I'd have to go with a pizza.
Hey, you can't go wrong with pizza. So.
I mean, after a good victory, a good pizza is always good.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of my favorite meals for sure.
Yeah, gets the carbs back in you too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mitch, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. I want to wish you the best of luck going into next season and beyond in your career. And hopefully whenever fans are back allowed in the arenas and you guys are playing in the Illinois, Indiana area, I can come and try to get to a game.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for having me on here. It's been a pleasure, and definitely want to wish you a good luck to your season in school, and definitely keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.